I gotta admit, the end of the Fever Mercury game made me sit up for a second because it got a little spicy with Caitlin Clark having an interaction with DeWanna Bonner out on the middle of the floor, sort of waving her back to the bench.
Well, well, well. It appears like DeWanna Bonner may have just made her worst choice of the year, arguing with Caitlin Clark during a game between the Mercury and Fever. Yes, that one immediately backfired. Fans witnessed it, the cameras captured it, and now the internet is giggling. This cannot be buried by the league. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, who looked worse throughout the entire exchange?
Now, we all know that the Indiana Fever is trying to make a push for the playoffs. We've been getting mixed signals coming out about Caitlin coming back, about Caitlin being, somewhat ready to go. Then we got Stephanie White saying it's day-to-day again, basically. Well, I'm here to tell you, Caitlin Clark is not shying away from making headlines.
Let's begin. The league's second-year star, Caitlin Clark, is already in the spotlight. She can be seen making absurd passes to teammates, dropping logo threes, or simply breathing as she moves across the floor. Whether they acknowledge it or not, Caitlin Clark is currently the lifeblood of the WNBA. What transpires, therefore, when a seasoned professional like DeWanna Bonner chooses to brag and contest that attention? You immediately feel regret. Because Caitlin Clark is skilled at transforming these minor conflicts into major plot points, you get the kind of viral clip that will accompany her for the entire season. And the fans love it, I promise.
Point in time. But that interaction stood out to me for a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, obviously, is the history there, where DeWanna Bonner was on the Fever for a cup of coffee and then winds up on the Mercury. Before the season, Caitlin Clark said she wanted to win a ring for her, right? She said, I want to win for her. And Caitlin Clark went out of her way to also, shine light on how DeWanna Bonner had risen up to the top of, near the top of the all-time WNBA scoring ranks. And then,
The Fever were already facing pressure before their encounter with Mercury. With injuries mounting, coaches engaging in the daily mystery game, and fans believing they need a medical degree to determine who is truly available to play, the season has been quite the roller coaster. Caitlin Clark is intermittently absent from practice. Talk about ankle and groin pain. Then there was the argument over whether she ought to be hurled into the fire or eased back. All of it has been draining. DeWanna Bonner then decides it's time to confront Clark in the midst of all of that. The time was ideal. Bonner isn't a rookie at the moment. She has enough experience in this league to understand how narratives function.
Here's the problem, though.
Caitlin Clark is more than just another player when you criticize her. You're targeting the audience, the cameras, the reporters, and the countless highlight accounts that will repeatedly record, repost, and meme your worst moment. And that's precisely what took place here. Bonner believed she was being tough, demonstrating that the Mercury were not going to allow the Fever to take over and push them around. Rather, the public witnessed a veteran making an excessive effort to intimidate a player who already commands more attention than half the league combined.
Right behind the coach coming out and jawing at DeWanna Bonner.
The real exchange escalated so quickly that it was almost comical. Clark made the hand gesture, "Go yell somewhere else," while maintaining her position. Bonner puffing up in an attempt to appear as though she is in charge of the court. The referees are only standing there like statues, acting as though they were blind to what the rest of the arena was witnessing. It goes without saying that the officiating always manages to appear inept when it comes to Caitlin Clark. The referees appear to be allergic to treating Clark games fairly, whether it's by disregarding head hits, ignoring the whistle on clear infractions, or calling her for phantom travels. However, viewers remarked that Bonner appeared worse at this moment due to the whistle stillness. The moment the video appeared on Twitter, or I should say X, but we all still refer to it as Twitter, it went viral. Fans of the Fever were pointing out how absurd it was. "Yep, here we go again," said Clark supporters. Another veterinarian is attempting to harass Caitlin. Some Mercury supporters were even baffled as to why Bonner had chosen this battle in the first place. You would think that perhaps the league would take note after witnessing what happened when other players attempted the same tactic, like Angel Ree, Kennedy Carter, and even Lexi Hall getting pulled into altercations. But no, here we are once more. Another welcome to Clark's WNBA moment. However, she is no longer even a rookie. She is now in Season 2. Furthermore, it isn't hazing at this time. Simply put, it's desperation. Because this is the truth. The Mercury are aware that their time is running out. Bonner herself is no longer in the future cornerstone category, and Diana Taurasi is not getting any younger. Conversely, the Fever have a youthful core and Clark Aaliyah Boston who, with the right coaching, may dominate for the ensuing 10 years. Veteran teams are alarmed about that. They lash out because of that. It's also awkward when Clark refuses to back down when she administers the hand treatment in front of a crowded arena. Bonner doesn't appear tough in the clip, so it's an instant regret. She appears shaken as a result. Ironically, the game was still lost by the Fever. By the end of the evening, however, nobody was discussing the score. Nobody was discussing how Phoenix distributed the points among 5 guys who scored in double figures. Not at all. It was Clark versus Bonner the entire time. In actual time, that is the Caitlin Clark effect. The Fever can be outscored by you. The battle of the standings can be won by you. However, the victory is Clark's if she delivers you that one viral moment. The league is aware that she controls the narrative.
Most clutchest player on the damn team. I'm not just saying that just to say it. Lexi Hall stand on business when it's time to play.
If there is one player in this whole mess that deserves flowers, it is Lexi Hall. So let's take a moment to discuss her. While her team was disintegrating around her, she gave it her all, playing 35 minutes, scoring 18 points, and yet managing to lock in on defense. Despite her tendency to not always dominate the scoreboard, Hull is a player who steps up when the game is close. It's also humorous that Hull was the one causing Phoenix trouble while Bonner was occupied trying to frighten Caitlin Clark. Naturally, though, we aren't given a highlight reel of that. Bonner appears pressured as Clark dismissively sends her away. This leads me to the coaching of the Fever. What are we doing here, Stephanie White? You can't continue to lose games in this manner, particularly when the opposition is scoring 5 goals or more. There is more than one mismatch. That hand isn't very hot. That's how your whole defense plan falls apart like a cheap lawn chair. The same cliched statements about living day to day and taking things slowly are getting old to fans. The justifications eventually become stale. White has also seen her players engage in trivial sideline feuds that take center stage as she tries to control rotations, injuries, and media pressure. The problem is that Clark won the game without even dropping 30 points. She only needed to stand there, move her away, and let the cameras take care of the rest. Power is that. Influence is that. Every veteran who believes they can teach her a lesson regrets it because of this. She remains the headline no matter how much you trash speak, shove, or abuse her. Even though some executives may wish they could, the WNBA is unable to conceal it. Online, fans praised it flawlessly. "Congratulations, Dana," they said. "You just sent Clark another video that went viral." They're correct, too. Because this is what drives the Fever fan base, whether Bonner likes it or not. To be honest, it gives Clark more energy. She feeds off the petty comments, the skeptics, and the alleged "welcome to the league" moments. Additionally, her brand grows stronger the more it occurs. Veterans like Bonner, however, wind up appearing sour, as though they are guardians of a league in dire need of new supporters and new eyes. Speaking of fans, let's not overlook the audience's response. The Fever support base has become increasingly vocal, cohesive, and irritated at the absurdity of every game. Throughout the year, they have witnessed Clark take cheap shots. While she is being pushed to the ground, they have witnessed referees swallow the whistle. This league's inability to manage its burgeoning star was further demonstrated when a veteran tried to sun her, or, perhaps more accurately, to be anti-her. What do fans do, then? They transform it into additional fuel. The clip is blown up. They make it popular on social media. Bonner's tough man persona abruptly becomes a meme. That's real-time, instant regret. Let's not fool ourselves either. Clark is aware of the importance of these times. She is not stupid. She is aware that she always has the chance to win without even putting the ball in the hoop when someone approaches her. She is aware that cameras are observing. She is aware that the supporters are poised to leap. And she plays into it with just the right amount of confidence and snark to make the other person appear insane. That alone is a skill. She is therefore a cultural change rather than merely a scorer or a passer. Whether she intended to or not, Bonner just added another brick to Clark's wall. Since the Mercury's playoff drive and fever troubles are no longer the main stories, the aftermath of this Bonner-Clark duel is nearly more fascinating than the game itself. It concerns DeWanna Bonner's unsuccessful attempt to intimidate Caitlin Clark in the eyes of the public. The amusing part is that, although Bonner may believe she won the battle at the time, she lost it in the long run. When the video is repeated again and over again with captions making fun of you for appearing pressed, you don't win. When Clark dismisses you like background noise, you lose. Furthermore, when fans are memeing you before the final buzzer even rings, you most surely don't win. And this is when Bonner's situation deteriorates. Caitlin Clark thrives on this. We've witnessed it previously. She uses it as fuel whenever someone believes they can send her a message or body her up. In response, she can whip cross-court passes, shoot logo threes, or simply stare someone down as if to challenge them to try again. That's the advantage Clark offers. She doesn't have to yell. She doesn't have to bump her chest. With a single flick of the wrist or sardonic sweep of the hand, she instantly makes you look foolish. That works far better than any stern conversation. The Fever are still dealing with more serious issues in the interim. The defense is still fragile. Injuries loom over everything, and rotations seem to be picked out of a hat. Fans are sick up with their star being beaten up without the protection of referees, bored of the ambiguous daily reports, and tired of the secrecy. Fans will be furious when Bonner tries to get ahead of Clark, since it involves more than one battle. It concerns the ongoing disrespect that is compounded by the poor management. However, we shouldn't pretend that the Mercury are now the league norm. Indeed, they had 5 players in the double digits. Although they are moving up the rankings, it appears that part of their plan is to get Clark shaken. And good luck if that's your strategy. Due to Clark's lack of agitation, she finds it funny. She is aware of how this league functions. She is aware that the veterinarians dislike the attention she receives. She is also aware that the references won't help her in any way. Rather than complaining, she dismisses it and continues to provide them with highlight reels that are posted on SportsCenter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and more. Speaking of highlights, Lexi Hall is also worthy of recognition. Hall was quietly accumulating points, playing strong defense, and reaffirming her status as this roster's most underappreciated player while Bonner was too busy jawing. Clutch is impossible to quantify on a stat sheet, but if you've seen the Fever the whole season, you know that Hall performs well when it counts. In the meantime, Caitlin Clark's wave of Bonner gone like a fly buzzing at a picnic will remain on in her memory forever. That content isn't outdated. That is content for memes. Instant remorse, then. Although Bonner may have believed she was making a point, all that was heard was that Caitlin Clark is the star. And, to be honest, the league is a little disappointed that this is the main attraction. Everyone is preoccupied on who is attempting to harass Clark this week rather than discussing outstanding team play or the playoff races. However, that is currently the WNBA's reality. Regardless of how the players feel about it, Clark is the main character. She also gets bigger the more they fight it. This should be a straightforward lesson. Give Clark no more free viral opportunities. Give her no more fuel because every shove, every cheap shot, and every side eye only serves to further establish her brand. For Bonner, that implies that her 19 points in this game will go unnoticed. She is known for losing her temper in front of Caitlin Clark and seemed to immediately regret it. What do you think, then? Was this merely another innocuous altercation? Or did DeWanna Bonner make a huge mistake by starting a quarrel with Caitlin Clark? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Remember to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and enable notifications so you don't miss our analysis of the next WNBA breakdown that goes viral.